Welcome to Monday Morning Monologues with the Dangerous Gentleman. Anyone who knows me very well knows that I like to walk a lot. I average probably 18 to 20,000 steps every day, which is the equivalent of about 3 hours worth of walking. And oftentimes, I will find myself monologuing about whatever is on my mind. Maybe it's politics. Maybe it's religion. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's pop culture. Maybe it's about chiropractic or healthcare in general or fitness or any variety of topics. And I realize that I kind of get a lot of my thoughts out when I do this. And so that's what these Monday morning monologues are going to be, is I'm going to record one or two a week and just put them out here as these are my thoughts. I'm not claiming to necessarily be an expert on all of these things, but these are going to be my thoughts, and it's going to be, like I said, a combination of theology and fitness and healthcare and personal development. Just kind of, like I said, whatever it is that's on my mind. Sometimes I'm going to sit in my car and record them. Sometimes I'm going to be walking around outside, so you're going to hear ambient noise. I don't rarely think I'm going to actually sit down in a studio and record these. These are going to be kind of off the cuff and just as they come to me. So there you go. This first Monday morning monologue. This first Monday morning monologue is going to be a quick story about why I love what I do and really a little bit about what I do. One of the biggest pieces of who I am is that I am a chiropractor. And I love being a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor for 15 years and I've seen and helped a lot of people. And I just had one of those stories that will probably stick with me for the rest of my career. So one of the staff people at the office told me that her nephew was in town, and he's about 2 years old and has been fussy and not sleeping and constipated, and her family is like, well, we don't know what to do. He's never like this. And she was talking to me about it. I said, well, have them bring him in, and I'll take a look and see what I can do. And she told them to, and they were hesitant about it. But yesterday, they finally brought him in, and I walked in to see the kid, and he's fussy, and he wants to cling to mom. And the only time he's happy is when he's sitting in his mom's lap and staring at a screen. That's the only time that he's quiet. So I asked him some questions. They said, yeah, he's not really going to the bathroom very often, and he's barely sleeping at night, and he's fussy all the time, and he's not really eating, and all these things. And I said, well, has he had any falls? And they said, well, no, other than like typical 2-year-old stuff. And if any of you have experience with 2-year-olds, you know they fall down and go boom a lot. And I could just tell this kid is just off. And the thing I like to tell parents is that kids don't know how to communicate that they have owies or that it hurts. And what it does is instead of them saying, ow, it hurts, they get fussy and they communicate their pain by their behavior. And so it was obvious to me that this kid was in a significant amount of discomfort. So I had him sit on his mom's lap, and I palpated his spine, and there were definitely some tender spots in the usual spots, lower back, and the nerves from the lower back. I was communicating. The nerves from the lower back, they go to the bowel so they can block things up if there's pressure and pinching on those. There's nerves, there's tight spots and tender spots in his neck, and if those are off, they can control those. Nerves go to his brain so they can disrupt his sleep cycles and stuff like that. So I took my activator gun out, and activator gun is a little mechanical instrument that applies pressure to the spine to help adjust. I use it with kids and people with brittle bones and stuff like that. So I hit some spots in his neck and his mid-back and all the way down into his tailbone. And then I did a quick little manual adjustment on each side of his neck, lower down, and just to make sure I was covering all my bases. And so I warned them. I said, he could very likely end up having a significant bowel movement this afternoon, and he'll probably want to take a nap, because I've seen that a lot. I didn't make any guarantees, but I told them this is a behavior that I commonly see. And they left. Well, this morning, I talked to the staff person whose family this is, and they said, wow, they told me that as soon as they left the office, the kid took an hour and a half nap in the afternoon in the car while they were driving. Then he had 2 major bowel movements, and then he got home and ate like a horse. Just couldn't stop eating. And then he slept all night. Which, that really warms my heart. Like, it's one of those things that as a not just as a chiropractor, but just as a human being, really does my soul good. And so, it was just one of those things. And so then later on this morning, they brought the kid in again. And I walked in the room, and this kid, instead of sitting on his mom's lap, crying and fussy and staring at a phone, he's running all over the exam room. He's just running around, he's laughing, he's giggling, and he's just like a completely different kid. And so I talked to his parents, and they're like, yeah, he ate a ton, he slept, he took 2 naps, he had 2 bowel movements, and he's just like a different kid. And I'm just, inside, my heart is just lifted up, because I know that this is the power of what I do. That I have the capacity, that God has given me this gift to help people in this way. And when it's a child, it's all that much more. Children respond much more quickly than adults. And to see these kinds of dramatic results, it just was this brilliant reminder of why it is that I do what I do, and why I love what I do, and why I would never, ever choose to do anything else. Chiropractic is powerful. God gave us these amazing bodies that when you give them the right stimulus, that when you put in the right things, our bodies do what they're supposed to do. And to see this little kid, this little 2-year-old boy, go from what he was yesterday, miserable, whining, fussy, inconsolable, to today, running around the office, running around, being a little 2-year-old kid, and to realize that God has given me the privilege to be able to do this for kids, for adults, for people in general. It's just, it's, I don't know if you can hear, but I'm almost to the point of tears just thinking about just this honor that God has given me to be able to help people in this kind of a way. And so I just wanted to get on here and share the story. This is going to be the kind of stuff that's probably going to be on my Monday morning monologues. And I mean, sometimes it's going to be stories like this. Sometimes it's just going to be me on here talking about a topic. Sometimes it's going to be politics, but it's always going to be from the heart. And sometimes you may hear it. I'm walking around outside, so sometimes you may hear traffic in the background. You may hear dogs bark. You may hear horns honk. I walk a lot, and so that's when I usually am talking to myself. And so This is episode 1. It's appropriate that it's about chiropractic, because chiropractic is a huge part of who I am. It's what I love. It's my passion, and just wanted to share that quick story with you today.